Okay, so imagine this. You've just been through the physical and emotional ringer of an auto accident. You're dealing with injuries, perhaps a wrecked vehicle, and on top of all that, the insurance company, the very one you've seen on TV say they'll be like a good neighbor or protect you from mayhem, has just denied your claim. If this is your reality right now, believe me, I understand how frustrated and overwhelmed you must feel, especially if you need the insurance money to get your vehicle repaired or to pay for medical treatment. But I've got some good news for you. A denied claim is not the end of the road. In fact, it's just the beginning of a fight you can win if you know what to do. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the top reasons insurance companies deny injury claims, and most importantly, what you can do if it happens to you. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's talk about some strategies that may be able to help you overcome an insurance claim denial. Now, before you can successfully dispute a denied claim, you need to first know what the reason for the denial is. Getting a clear explanation for the basis of the denial will help you figure out what your next steps need to be. The insurance adjuster assigned to your claim will probably tell you on the phone why your claim is being denied, but I recommend that you request a letter of explanation so that you have their reasons for the denial in writing. It's important to pin the insurance company down on the reason for denying your claim, because if the insurance company tries to say something different or change their reason later, that can be evidence of bad faith, which can give you some additional leverage when you're trying to settle your claim or potentially allow you to recover more than the limits of the insurance policy. Now, if for some reason you're being stonewalled and the insurance company won't tell you the reason for the denial, one thing you can do is file a complaint with your state's Department of Insurance. After filing the complaint, the insurance company will then have to tell the state why it did what it did, and then the state will pass that information on to you. Now, what are some of the common reasons for claim denials and what can you do about it? Well, the first and perhaps the most straightforward reason an insurance company will deny a claim is due to lack of coverage. Maybe the policyholder's coverage had lapsed at the time of the accident due to non-payment, or maybe the policy had altogether expired. It's also possible that the at-fault driver is not listed or covered under the policy. For instance, if a friend or relative was driving the policyholder's vehicle without the policyholder's permission, insurance companies could use this as a reason to deny the claim. Now, if your claim was denied due to a lack of coverage, the first thing you should do is to verify the information. Ask the insurance company to provide proof that the policy was lapsed or expired at the time of the accident. They should give you what's called a declarations page of the insurance policy. Once you have that, you want to look at the policy period listed in the declarations page and verify that the accident did not happen during the policy period. If the denial is based on the driver not being covered under the policy, you'll still want to get a copy of the declarations page and the insurance policy to verify that. You'll also want to make sure that there are no other policies that may apply to that driver. What are some of the ways that you can do that? Well, start by requesting the police report. The police report will list who was driving the vehicle and who owned the vehicle. Usually it's the vehicle owner's insurance company that will take the lead in handling your claim, but if the vehicle owner doesn't have insurance, then it's possible that the at-fault driver or someone who lives with the at-fault driver may have a different auto liability insurance policy that can cover your claim. That's why it's so important to collect the driver's insurance information while you're still at the scene if you can. But in situations where my clients aren't able to do that, we send a letter to the driver requesting that information, and we'll usually hear something back from them. But if we don't, then there are some companies out there that we can use to search for insurance information, and they're usually pretty good at finding out if there are any additional insurance policies that we can access. Another thing you can do is to contact your own insurance company. Most states require auto insurance policies to provide uninsured motorist coverage, and if the other driver really isn't covered by any other policy, then your own auto policy can kick in to cover your damages. And your insurance company can also assist you in locating other potentially applicable policies. They have accesses to databases that they can look at and see if there are any other potentially applicable policies out there. And trust me, they're going to do that because they want to make sure that there really isn't any other insurance out there that may be responsible for your damages before they pay out any uninsured motorist benefits. Another common reason insurance companies deny claims is when liability for the accident is disputed. The insurance company might argue that their policyholder was not at fault for the accident. They might claim that you were partially or entirely to blame, or some other party was. For example, if you were involved in an accident at an intersection, the insurer might argue that you were speeding or you failed to yield the right-of-way, which caused or partially caused the accident. If liability is disputed, gather all the evidence that supports your claim that the other driver was at fault. This can include photographs, video footage from traffic cameras or nearby businesses with security cameras, eyewitness statements, police reports, and even computer data from your own car. I can't tell you how many times we've gotten very good settlements after claims were initially denied just by doing some good old-fashioned legwork to get the evidence that we needed to show that our client's side of the story was the truth. We just had this kind of situation come up the other day when our client came to us after she got T-boned going through an intersection. Our client said that she had the green light, but the other driver who hit her said that she had the green lights, and there were no eyewitnesses to the crash. And the police report did not put any fault on either driver because there was no corroborating evidence to support either side. It was a classic he said, she said situation. So the other driver's insurance company denied my client's claim and said that she was responsible for her own property damage and medical bills. Well, when we got the case, we immediately went to the scene of the intersection and took a look around. And when we got there, we saw that there was a little camera above one of the light signals. Not just one of the little sensors that can detect when someone is stopped at the light, but an actual camera that was pointed right at the intersection where the crash happened. Now, not all cities have traffic cameras, or they may not be working, or the footage might have been erased because it wasn't requested in time, but luckily for us in this situation, our client contacted us right away, so we were able to request the footage and secure it before it got erased. And guess what? It showed that our client had the green light like she said she did, and we were able to get her claim denial reversed. And in some situations where the wreck and injuries are really bad, we can even bring in experts like an accident reconstructionist to analyze the evidence and create a report that explains how the accident happened. So be persistent, put your detective hat on, and make sure that you've collected every piece of evidence that shows that the other party was at fault. In most states, you don't even have to show the other side was 100% at fault. If you can show the other side was mostly at fault, or in some states even just a little bit at fault, then the insurance company should accept your claim. Then the insurance company will have to pay a proportionate share of your damages based on their insured driver's fault. If you want to know more about what factors influence settlement values, I have a video on that topic which you can check out after watching this one. Another common denial we see is when the insurance company denies that your injuries and medical treatment were caused by the accident you were in. In other words, they may not be denying that you were in the accident or that their insured caused the accident, but they are taking the position that your injuries were not caused by the accident. Or they might take the position that your medical treatment was unnecessary or excessive for the types of injuries that you have. Now, this issue is most likely to come up if you wait too long to get medical treatment after an accident, because in the insurance company's eyes, if you're not getting medical treatment, then you're simply not injured. So the best thing to do to prevent the insurance company from raising this issue is to just go get medical treatment as soon as you can after the accident. The longer you wait, the worse your case gets. And if you don't have health insurance, don't worry. There are other ways to get your medical bills paid for after a car accident, which I covered in another video. So what if you got medical treatment right away, but the insurance company is still denying that your injuries were caused by the accident? Maybe you had a prior similar injury, or you have degenerative changes that were caused by the normal aging process, and the insurance company is saying that your injuries and medical treatment are really from that and not from the accident. Well, there's a few things you can do here. If you had a prior similar injury that the insurance company finds out about, you may need to get your medical records to show when you received treatment from that injury and how the injury resolved. If your prior injury was 10 years ago and your medical records show that you made a full recovery, then it's going to be hard for the insurance company to point to that prior injury as the cause for your medical treatment that you received from your most recent accident. But even if you didn't make a full recovery, if your medical records from before and after the accident show that the accident aggravated or worsened a pre-existing medical condition, and that caused you to have to go get more medical treatment, then the insurance company is still responsible for paying for that treatment and compensating you for your worsened health condition. Another thing you can do is to get your doctor to write a letter for you to give to the insurance company that explains how the accident caused your injuries or worsened your pre-existing injuries and why all the medical treatment you received was necessary. Now, some doctors' offices are better about doing this for their patients than others, and hopefully you have a doctor who is cooperative, but sometimes doctors are uncooperative or are just too busy to help. In that situation, you might need to get an independent medical examination from a doctor who specializes in the kind of injuries that you have. If you go that route, the doctor who performs the independent medical examination will review your medical records, examine you, then write a report about how your injuries are related to the accident. Then you can provide that to the insurance company as support for your claim. And if none of that works, sometimes you just have to file your case in court and let a judge and jury decide. Just filing the lawsuit can substantially change the dynamic and cause the insurance company to reevaluate its position. If you want to learn more about the lawsuit process, check out this video here. And if you have a case that you'd like to talk to me about, here's my contact information, or you can use the link in the description below to get in touch with me and set up a free case review. I hope this was helpful. Leave any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.